Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Saturday at 5 evening with Mark Letterman. Today, we are going to touch on a topic that's very close to your hearts. Are our youths lost today? And before we invite our guest speakers up to stage, let us take a look at this short video clip. This evening, we have two wonderful guests with us, Ying Ning and Jocelyn. So Ying Ning, what are some of the problems or pressures you face, and how do you cope with them?
The stress that comes from the workforce. Because I'm just a fresh grad, I don't have any hands-on experience in the workforce, then the people will be kind of impatient.
Do you actually have anybody to turn to when you are faced with such problems?
Yes, after work I will talk about my problems to my boyfriend, my family members and my friends, and then they will give me a lot of emotional support.
How are you coping with all this daily workload?
It's alright until now because I'm just an intern, so the people, they do not expect a lot from us.
Were there any instances where you couldn't turn to your family or your friends for certain questions that you had in life?
Yes, for example, I had relationship problems where I couldn't turn to my family members or my friends because if I tell my family members, then they will think we are childish to quarrel. And most of my friends are single. If I tell them my problems, they wouldn't be able to relate why I feel this way.
How do you actually cope with all this?
I just had to depend on myself. I just had to continue and talk to my boyfriend until we managed to find a solution.
After listening to Ying Ning's perspective, next we'll hear from Jocelyn. So has your relationship with God changed your life in any way?
I know that in life, He's always there for me. Like whenever I need someone to talk to, He will always be there to listen to me. That I know that there will be no instances where I'm left alone to do things all by myself.
Can you share with us an instance where God was really real to you?
It was for uni application. I thought that I didn't do very well for me to actually enter into a local uni, and that was also a period of time whereby I wasn't really praying consistently. So God actually brought me back. He encourages me to actually even remind me to actually pray, and so that's what I did. I prayed, and in the end, He actually blessed me with a placement in uni. Another instances where I thank God for was actually a placement for my internship because I remember I was very anxious about it because I didn't do very well exactly for my course. So I was praying to God and then asking God to actually even bring me to just the right placement that He wants me to go to experience how the job is like. So God is awesome because He answered my prayer. And then from what I heard is that the placement that I got, there was like 500 over applicants and I was one of the lucky 26 of them.
For this segment, we'll look into the pressures faced by youths today. So, Amos, what are some of the pressures you face as a student?
Some of the pressures I face today are the pressures that I really face in school. Usually they are caused by my peers. I face the peer pressure to do well in my studies as well as to remain popular in school so that you really don't get left out. So that you have like friends and all to support you.
Has God in any way actually helped you overcome such pressures or anxiety?
I did face peer pressure in Sec 1. I was with a bad influence. I picked up smoking as a bad habit. And my dad came to know about it and he asked me to pray and read the Bible more so that I'll grow closer to God. Because although this is what he said, I also somewhat agree with him. When you're closer to God, God will help you to overcome this temptation. So in the end, I overcame the temptation of smoking with the help of God and my father as well, who prayed for me constantly. And I also read the Bible more to grow closer to God.
And now we have Astoria. So Astoria, having just stepped into the working world, what are some of the pressures you face during work?
Okay, peer pressure is not only confined to the student world. I get it at my workplace quite a lot as well. One thing is my colleagues tend to smoke and they drink a lot and they tend to want to get you into it, and that's what I'm struggling now with.
How do you kind of like hold back from doing these activities with them?
I just keep on rejecting, knowing that after a lot of rejections, they're just going to stop asking you. You don't want to start and know that after a while you're going to get hooked and then you can't stop.
Is there any other stuff that happens in work that you are not very happy about or you feel very pressurized to do?
Also, you get a lot of work pressure in the sense that you're asked to perform under time constraint, knowing that, okay, I'm under constraint, I need to perform, I need to do this very well. And I've learned to be more calm now and settle my work a bit better.
Is there anybody you can turn to when you meet such situations?
God has given me a lot of good seniors to talk to, whom I can turn to in my time of need, and just generally be there for me when I'm down or upset.
Now we have Aaron, a full-time staff with a church who has been working very closely with youths to share his experience with us today. So Aaron, what are the most urgent needs we need to address for youths today?
Okay, I think they will have to know how to handle the peer pressure. I think this is one of the most urgent issue that we need to equip the youth today. Related to the peer pressure is also their own personal self-esteem issue. They need to feel good about themselves so that they are able to handle the peer pressure in a better way.
What are some of the ways the church is helping the youths cope with these pressures?
Number one, we are creating an environment where the youth can find acceptance among their peers here in the so-called safe environment. And also, we as adults will be providing the role model in guiding them and showing them the appropriate way to respond to all this peer pressure that they face in their school and perhaps also in their early stage of their work life.
Is there any last words before we end the show?
Well, I think it's very important for the youth to know who they are. They are precious and priceless in the eyes of God, and because of that, there's no need for them to please anyone else. But to remember this, that God loves you and He will see you through in all the years of challenge, and you'll be successful when you follow Him.
Thank you, Aaron. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching Saturday at 5 Evening with Mark Letterman. Till next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
And on my right, I have Astoria, who is a young. Is your back sweating?
Yes, I think the youth today, they need to have a very deep. Balik.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't film.